How's it going, guys? Congratulations on buying a G3BT bike top for your delivery drivers. Now, we're going to take 10 minutes of your time today to quickly skim through and show you how to install one of these signs. Before I run through the tools and the install of the bike, I just wanted to share a couple of facts with you about delivering on a scooter. It can be a lot of fun doing this, but it can also be dangerous, and I think it's everyone's responsibility to make sure that they do everything they can to illuminate their riders and show everyone on the road that there is a delivery in process. We're going to run through our tools. We've got a flathead screwdriver, a Phillips, a 10mm, and a socket 10mm. We've got our G3BT, brand new in box. We have our wire cover, and we've also got our sign. So I'm just going to remove him out of here. On your wire cover, you should have your 2 bolts. I'm just going to remove the wrapping. Once you've removed your wrapping, you just want to have a good look at it and make sure it's in good working order. There's no cracks or damage on the sign. To get started, we need to remove the nylock nuts from the ends of the bolts here. And we need to do the same with our wire cover. We're just removing these, ready for installation. I've got the 2 adhesive wire ties in my hands. First thing we need to do is we need to replace these adhesive ties into the back of the TGB box. And we're going to place these in such a manner that the power wire is going to run through the hole here where the grommet has been removed. The wire will run down through the box along the back, and we'll connect nice and neatly into our female socket here. The adhesive here, and I'm going to stick that in. Now that we've put our adhesive wire clips on, we're going to remove the 2 outer bolts from the TGB box hinge. Now, this is the hinge on the lid of the box. So we're removing these 2 bolts here. So the 2 outer bolts on the hinge that's attached to the lid of the box. And we just want to place the sign evenly on top of the box, and we want the power wire to rest over the back. Now, it's very important that you put the sign evenly into the holes. You do not want to put one in before the other, and then you need to apply even pressure with both hands over the top of the bolts. And it should pop into place with a fair amount of pressure. We have our 6mm grommet, and we just need to feed our power wire through into the box, like so, and then the grommet you want the tension on the wire to be firm, but it must have enough slack so that when you open and close the box, it doesn't put the wire under strain. Alright, so we can see here that the wire has a little bit of flex in it, but it's quite straight going from the back of the G3. And take note of where the wire is. It's very important that the wire runs in between the hinge and the lip on the back of the lid, and it does not run over the top of these bolts or over the top of the hinge. Now we need to tighten our G3 in place. We need our 2 mudguard washers, our nylon nuts. What we're going to do now is pop on our mudguard washers on each bolt that's exposed. And we're just going to finger tighten our nylon nut into place on either side. So I'm just going to hold the top of the sign here. Now, some of our signs do come with an Allen key fitting for the top, and in those cases you would obviously need an Allen key instead of the 10mm, but essentially it's exactly the same. So we're just tightening this into place, and we want to tighten that quite firmly. And repeat the process. You should have about 5-6 mils of thread exposed once you've put the nut on. You'll notice there is a little bit of play and give in it, and that should be there. It needs to be flexible. So we'll install our wire cover, which involves us removing these two bolts here. We need a Phillips head screwdriver. We'll put the Phillips head into the nut we're working with here, and then we're just holding we're screwing the bolt and holding the nut at the same time. So we're just going to pop that one out, and we want to do this to both. Grab our wire cover. Just want to place our wire cover in, and it should fit quite snugly into place. And you can see here that there's very little of the power wire exposed. I'm just going to finger tighten the nylock nut and the washer into place. We're just going to screw those down. Once again, I'm holding the nut underneath with the 10mm socket. And I'll actually use the 10mm socket to tighten that, as it's got a lot more leverage. Now you want to be careful not to over tighten when you're doing this. You want the countersunk bolts to be flush, like so, but you don't want it to be so, you don't want to over tighten them in such a way that they actually damage the wire cover. It should be sitting up like so, alright? But it shouldn't be bending or bowing in any way. Just sitting up neatly like so. And once again, there should be no strain on that wire. It should be nice and flexible. If you have a look underneath, you'll be able to see that the wire isn't being pulled. So it's in perfect position. Exciting part, we get to see the sign lit up. So what I've done there is I've put the power wire under the false floor, and you can see that the G3 power wire is very neat, tucked into the back there. Basically, one touch turns the sign off and on. A couple of quick features before you install your sign is obviously it's got 120 high-powered LEDs inside the unit, which give it maximum illumination, and then it's got 4 high-powered spotlight LEDs underneath the unit, and these basically light up the side and the whole surround of the bike and create a lot of visibility at night of your bike. But they also double as spotlights when your riders are delivering at night. Basically, when you open the lid and remove the cargo, the spotlights will illuminate the path wherever the rider is taking the goods, and it's a really big safety feature. Your sign and your bike are made to work together, so install it correctly and it'll last for many years.